Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to episode 3 of Glitch Techs. So yeah, we're here with another episode of Glitch Techs, and I'm really excited for this one because, yeah, this series has been pretty great with its first 2 episodes. Um, I can definitely see this series breaking the mold that has been set forth by the likes of Amphibia and Owl House. I can see it being one of those that continues to be good. Um, Now, we had in the last episode a bit of setup. There is definitely setup for the future with uh, the inspector. I cannot remember her name. Was it Barbara? I think it was Barbara. But she had been contacting the leaders of the Hinobi uh, game company, I guess, and they had been like relaying to her like this kind of message. She had been relaying to them a message, and it seems like they want to use Miko's immunity in some way. Um, so at the moment, they're just kind of watching, but they're definitely wanting to use her for some reason. Now, I don't expect they're going to get into that again too much here. That's definitely going to be something that's kind of like either the end of the season or they're going to work towards that in the future. They might like briefly mention it here and there again, but that's about it. I'm expecting most of the series probably will be a little episodic with the entire idea of like, oh, we have to go get glitches, while also running the store and stuff. Um, and of course, we're going to see a lot of game references, a lot of little bits here and there, and just have fun. There's also the little plot element of Miko's sister who knows things that she shouldn't. Because while the rest of the family's minds were wiped, she wasn't even known to be watching at the time. So I think that plot element's going to come back before anything else. That would be my guess. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. Either way, I'm very much enjoying this, and I can definitely see that while this might be very episodic, it's probably going to be better handled than a lot of those other ones. Amphibia, like I had said, kind of got boring to me, and Owl House ignored a huge plot point that really just left a huge hole and just dropped it, made it drop in entertainment for me because of it. And I just want to say real quick, if you like either of those shows or both of those shows, that's completely fine. I'm not saying that you have to dislike or hate or find fault in either Amphibia or Owl House like I do. It's just that's my personal viewpoint. That's just what I personally thought about these shows. Um, and based on these first 2 episodes, it seems like Glitch Techs could be breaking the mold with that. Granted, 12 Forever easily would have broken that mold if the creator didn't end up being a piece of shit, and the series would have been able to keep going. Um, that had so much potential, but it was ruined, and the show was canceled because the creator of it turned out to be a piece of shit and kind of a creep. It had so much potential, and the first season was so good, and I wanted so much more of the Butt Witch, but it's like, then it was canceled, and it's like, shit. Shit. um, but yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping for some really good things with this one, and I'm really hoping it doesn't disappoint me like the others. But in the meantime, we're just going to get this started and see where this takes us. So, yeah, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, Everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and welcome back, and we will begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I'll say right off the bat, this is actually my second time recording it because the first time I rambled on quite a bit. So I want to get to what I rambled on about right away. And that is the fact that in this episode, Miko is, like, I mean, it's probably been in the past episodes as well, but I know it was really noticeable in this one. She's drawn to be very thick, like, especially when she's in her glitch tech uniform. Like, her hips and everything are very wide, very, like, rounded and everything. And it's like, her character is 16, and it's like, it's a little weird. But at the same time, it's like, she's a fictional character. We know that people's view of fictional characters have no necessary relation to how they view real life people. And in the end, even if artists take advantage of that and everything, whether just for some lewd, suggestive art or even full-on adult art, it's all fictional, and it's fine. It's fine because we know it's not real, and we know it's not, like, we're not connecting it to reality. So I wanted to briefly just mention that right away because, again, I rambled on a lot about it last time. Or in the last time I tried recording this, but yeah, just wanted to mention that right away. And it's not like this is the first show that's done that, and a lot of anime do that. Let's be honest, My Hero Academia, for example. But yeah, it's just a thing. And a lot of shows do it, but I did want to address that. I did want to just bring it up to kind of get it out of the way. So moving on, though. So this episode is a good continuation of the first two and was also just very good in general. We had Miko and Five going out on their first mission as glitch techs. They've gone through the training, they've done all of that jazz, now they're finally getting to go out. We find out that as a glitch tech, for every glitch they dispatch, they gain experience points. Very much in an RPG way. And also very much like an RPG, they can spend their experience in order to purchase upgrades, get new stuff for their gauntlets. They can get all kinds of different things. There's a big old skill tree we see. And I compared it kind of to Skyrim and Fallout and that kind of stuff because those are like the kind of games I have played and know this kind of thing from, especially. Like, it's obviously been in other games and all, but this is like where I really know this kind of upgrade system from, especially Skyrim. Because as you know, in Skyrim, it has all the different skill trees based on like different things like one-handed, based on the different magic schools. You have a skill tree for stealth, for speech, all that kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, it's like, every time you level up, you get a skill point, and you can spend that point to get an upgrade in one of the different skills and all of that jazz. But here, it's like you're actually spending the experience itself, which is interesting. And it's like you can get one upgrade every time you level up, is what it seems like. And certain upgrades are for certain levels, like the upgrades they wanted in this, the rocket boots and the blade for the gauntlet blade. Those are both level 2 upgrades. So it's really interesting. Not only does this continue to show that the creators of this series really understand like what gaming is all about, but it's just really interesting for this world, for what's going on. So the main thing is, so they're going out trying to take care of glitches around town. They're doing their job. But they are kind of relegated to low-level glitches. It's what they can handle at this point. They're not experienced, so the low-level ones are easier to take care of, but they also give less experience to them. So they're doing it, and they make the most of it, but then they end up coming across this bird-like glitch, which is very reminiscent of the bird from the movie Up, the Disney movie. Um, it's so derpy, and I love it. Um, but it ends up causing trouble for them and steals and eventually even eats Miko's gauntlet. So a lot of the episode is them trying to get the gauntlet back from the bird and everything, while meanwhile we see that this like Pokemon-like glitch that came out of this other girl's game that Miko accidentally caused to glitch in the first place, we see that this Pokemon-like glitch is causing trouble. And so everything's kind of building up to that. After they end up stopping the bird and even saving it from everything, because we find out that it ate the Pokemon-like creature. They save the bird, and it kind of becomes their ally, at which point Miko fittingly names it Ally. Then they have to take down the Pokemon-like glitch, which has evolved into a bigger form because it's eating all the other stuff that the bird had originally eaten. And yeah, it was very good. It was very fun. I like the action. I continue to love the animation and expressions in this show. Like, it is so good. A lot of this episode also focused on the idea of focus. It focused on the idea of focus. Miko has trouble focusing, and she's a very wild child. She's a very free spirit. So she's often like kind of just here and there and everywhere. So this episode it was definitely heavy on that aspect of her trying to, well, not really her trying to, but being told she has to learn to do that. And kind of learning to a point at the end, but clearly not completely. 5 is definitely a supporting role in this episode compared to Miko, but we also see how they're connecting as new friends and everything. That's a very heavy plot point to this episode, especially since it helps Miko honestly gain a lot of confidence in the later half. So that's really good to see as well. And on top of it, this episode just was fun. It was just fun and enjoyable, and I just had a blast with it. It continues to be a great show, continues to just knock it out of the park, really. So it's like, I'm worried, admittedly, because I'm hoping to hell that it can keep this up and not have any issues come up. Or at least if it does have issues, them not to be too serious or too prevalent. But yeah, overall, I really did enjoy this. I thought it was another great episode. And I can't wait to see like what kind of ideas they bring in. Like, I mentioned it last time, but these episodes all seem to have like kind of themed genres to them. Like episode 1 was double length, so it kind of covered 2. Obviously, we had the like kind of puzzle platformer with the game that they were playing in the tournament. But then like afterwards, like they also covered like classic platformers with the cat game and everything. Which includes stuff like power-ups and whatnot. Episode 2 was clearly focused more on oh, my mind is blanking. Don't you hate when that happens, when your mind just completely blanks on something? God, why is my mind blanking so heavy right now? Oh, episode 2 focused like heavily on tutorials, but also in terms of gaming, it focused on fighting games. Which was fun to see as a player of fighting games and everything, as someone who's always loved to play those. So it focused a lot on fighting games, and now that episode 3 has focused on like RPG. Like even bringing in the idea of the one glitch being coming from a game that's kind of similar to Pokemon. It's like Pokemon is a very well-known RPG. In fact, one of the biggest gaming franchises of all time, especially in that genre. So it's like, yeah, each episode seems to have kind of like a focus on a different genre of games, but they don't like bash you over the head with it. They don't like they're not like focusing heavily on it. Like this episode, yeah, obviously they mentioned RPGs by name, but it's like it's not like super in your face. They try to make it feel more natural for, again, this world that they're building with it, with the entire idea of the glitch text themselves. Um, so it comes across as more natural. And I like that. I really like that. And I can't wait to see like what the future episodes go into in terms of genres and whatnot. Like I would love to see one that focuses on rhythm gaming. I mean, we've already seen Miko playing a Guitar Hero like game, so an episode that kind of focuses on that kind of thing would be cool. Maybe an episode that focuses on like open world sandbox type games, which were also mentioned in this episode, by the way. Something like that, or just all kinds of other things. Maybe a first person shooter kind of focus in one of them, stuff like that. Like that would be cool. It would be a cool idea to just have that continue. I don't know if it will the entire time. Honestly, I can't say, but we'll see. Either way, tell me your thoughts on this episode down in the comments below. And thank you all so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.